kryptonite. Blurry vision, I got shades to block the light.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spoiler Warning Podcast. This is review number 808 with a review of Caught Stealing. I'm Christopher Schnese.
And I'm Stephen Miller.
And if you're joining us for the first time, the Spoiler Warning Podcast is a weekly film review program. Each week in the show, we're going to dive in, debate, discuss, and argue over the latest films coming to a theater near you. This week, we have two reviews that we're going to do for you. We have this review of Caught Stealing, and then also in the feed, you should later on have a review of Lurker. Stephen, how you feeling? Excited for TIFF coming up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I finally imported all of our screenings into Google Calendar because I have I'm like meeting up with someone in Toronto when I'm there and trying to have at least one call that I still do. And staring at that calendar, it's going to be a hell of a week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm excited for it.
Did you get everything imported correctly, or are you going to land there and realize that everything is off by 3 hours?
No, it's correct. I double checked.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it is gonna be a lot of fun, especially that first day, because I do a red eye. Assuming I make it to the first movie, which is like 2 hours after the plane lands, it is 4 movies pretty much back to back to back. And my red eye, it is like, even if I can sleep just sitting up, you know, because this is not like a lie down situation or anything.
Yeah.
It is San Diego to Chicago, then Chicago to Toronto. So it's going to be like at best 3 hours, you know? So that is going to be a brutal last day. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm excited anyway. Meanwhile, you'll be all rested. You'll be acclimated to East Coast time by then. You'll be sitting pretty.
Yeah. Hopefully that is the plan. Yeah, everything is, with this being the holiday weekend, you know, in my head, my flight is like 1,000 days from now, but also right. I know that it's one less than I should actually think it is. So, yeah. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous, not for the flight itself, but as we were kind of talking before the podcast, there's a lot of shit we got to bring to make this work. And just thinking of, okay, is it all going to fit in the bags? How am I going to get this there? How am I going to lug all this shit to the place to get the keys and then to the Airbnb? It's nervous excitement, but it should be a good 11 days or whatever it is.
I'm also meeting Chris there a few days in because I'm going to a wedding first, but that makes packing even more confusing. I think I'm gonna pack a small, like a garment bag or something for the wedding and have Joanna just fly back to San Francisco with it. Because otherwise just the packing situation is going to be out of control.
Yeah. that is the whole painful thing. Yeah. I wonder what it would cost to just pay year round for a storage unit to have all the equipment in for.
Can you imagine if we did like a big TIFF episode we've been drumming up forever, and the whole episode is just us talking about packing? we don't even get to the movies. What kind of charger are you working with?
Yeah, I mean, hey, people might need to know this stuff. There might be other.
Now you roll and put it into cubes, right? That's your strategy. Cool. Yeah.
Got a lot to cover before we go, but you ready to get into this episode, Stephen?
I'm ready. All
right, let's take a listen to the trailer for Caught Stealing, and then come back and give everybody a review.
What the hell happened?
Some last call. Drink them if you got them.
Let's go back to your place and you can take advantage of my poor judgment.
I depend on your poor judgment.
I want to know if I can take this seriously.
What do you need to take us seriously?
Come on, kids, get a room.
Sorry, Miss Kitty. Oi!
What the fuck you doing, geezer?
Is that the best you can do?
I've got to fly back to London. I need you to take care of my cat.
I like cats.
I like dogs.
Hey, is Russ home?
Who are you?
What's the baby, man?
Who did this to you?
La pistola. Either I get what I want, or my pistol stuck for me.
These guys you messed up with, they're scary monsters.
I don't know anything.
Sweep me the fucking edge, you twat!
What the fuck did you get me into?
Darling, you got to let me know.
Welcome to Narnia.
Should I stay or should I go?
How much is there? Over 4 million. Shit.
Everyone gets a cut. The Russians, the Puerto Rican, the Hebrews.
What the fuck are you doing? Oh! So what happens to me?
You're fucked.
You run away from what you're afraid of, then it owns you.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now?
What the fuck is going on? Either we go deeper or pick it up.
I don't want out.
Should I stay or should I go now?
I need to know that you're a guy that can take care of his shit. Asshole!
I can handle it. I don't suppose you're Jewish, are you?
Eat, skinny boy.
Eat or you're gonna upset her. I like you, Hank.
All right, so that was the trailer for Caught Stealing. Basically, there's this dude, his neighbor / maybe friend, asks him to look after his cat while he heads off to London. And that sort of gets him caught up in a big old crazy plot involving a bunch of people. So, Stephen Miller, what did you think of Caught Stealing?
So my Letterboxd review of Caught Stealing was Darren Aronofsky ... can be fun. And that's pretty much like my main feeling about this movie. I don't think it's a fantastic movie. It's got plenty of shortcomings, but it is a fun movie. And that is something I don't know if I've ever had watching an Aronofsky movie before in my life. I'd be kind of hard pressed to think of an example where there's been a movie that is like entertaining rather than feeling like a grueling thing that you're maybe better for having sat through, but certainly not looking forward to sitting through it again. This is like a rip-off Guy Ritchie movie, and it's having so much fun being a rip-off Guy Ritchie movie, and I'm happy for it. You know, I think Austin Butler has proven that he can carry a movie. Like I think he is a totally fun lead in this. This movie has learned the lesson that a few action movies have learned recently, which is that we don't want to see our, quote, hero do well. We want to see them get the shit kicked out of them. And he is very, very, very game for being the punching bag of the movie. But like one problem that I have with pretty much every Aronofsky movie, including I caught up with Requiem for a Dream for the first time recently, and I was like shocked at how dumb I think that movie is.
Oh, wow.
Like, given its reputation of being, oh man, it's so heavy, it's going to be brutal, you don't want to watch it twice. Like, it is such a dumb, thinly like veiled morality play that seems like it has no understanding of how human beings work. That's my hot take for that movie. But I think in general, Aronofsky doesn't really know how to write human beings with emotion. Like, he does operatic movies, right? That is his sweet spot. Maybe The Wrestler is the one counterexample where he actually like nailed a human feeling. Otherwise, they're usually big, over the top, thinking like the emotions of the whale. Like, Brendan Fraser does a great job turning that into a human character, but all Aronofsky knows how to do is just like throw hyperbole at you and hope that it makes the audience cry. That is a problem here too, in the sense that there is a whole kind of psychodrama happening in this movie about the history of Hank, the main character, how he could have been a contender, traumas in his past. I find that very, 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 very thin, to the point of like not really needing it to be in the movie at all. But that problem of not knowing how to write full three-dimensional humans is awesome when you are doing the Guy Ritchie thing of having a bunch of like side character bad guys who come in for one or two scenes and have to like steal the camera, because it is a lot of fun to write silly stereotypes, and Aronofsky does a great job of that here. We've got like Matt Smith doing his like over-the-top British punk thing. We've got this crew of Russian goons, including a man who just rams his head into people. We have the Druckers, the Orthodox Jewish brother gangsters, Liev Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio, who are just
that casting was probably
amazing.
My favorite part of the film.
It was one of those examples where like it took me watching them for a while to be certain that they were who I thought they were. I was like, I'm getting Liev Schreiber for sure. Is that just a guy who kind of looks like him, or is it actually? And then I was like, oh my god! And is that Vincent next to him? Like it was very funny.
I had that same experience where I was like, okay, Liev Schreiber, but I for some reason I was forgetting his name, and then it took me a while to get Vincent D'Onofrio as the second guy, and I was kind of like, it's great that they have him. Who's the other guy? And then I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then I was telling you. While the trailer was playing, I just realized that their grandma, their Bubby, is Carol Kane. So everyone who looked like a famous person was actually that famous person.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this movie, it moves at a clip. It is, I think, very entertaining. It's a little thin, but it kept me smiling pretty much the whole time. I would say, like, for reference, this is significantly more fun than Fight or Flight, which I think is the type of movie that this is, which is just like I'm watching a kind of nonstop shitty character who has to play hero, and we don't really care why they are the way they are, but we're going to phone in a little bit of backstory, but mostly we're here to just have a good time. And I think this movie delivers on that. So I don't know. I'm not going to say this is a very good movie, but it is a totally entertaining movie to go see in theaters. I at least had more fun than I expected. How about you?
I would say that I was a little less... I was having a little less fun than you were in this film. The thing I kept asking myself while watching it is, why is Darren Aronofsky doing a Guy Ritchie movie, and why is Guy Ritchie not making this movie?
Right. Because
this felt like something that I would really, really enjoy as a Guy Ritchie film. And for some reason, it just didn't stand up to... It didn't stand up to me. It wasn't executing on the level of what the film was trying to do in my head. Not even... I was more comparing to Guy Ritchie for the joking side of it. But like in reality, I was watching things that I was like, I think this is fun on paper, but I'm not having as much fun as I feel like I should be. Like even just watching the trailer right now, that trailer looks like a really fun movie. That trailer looks like the trailer for the movie I think you watched. But for me, maybe again, this was another situation of sitting alone in a theater with like maybe 4 other people in it. It just something felt like it was just missing something. I don't know if it was editing or some sort of thing in the pacing kind of was missing for me. And part of that is because potentially, the trailer has a lot of these scenes with Austin Butler and Matt Smith doing their stuff. And like, that is so little of this film, right? That is very, very little of this film.
Right. And they're selling you a different movie for sure in the trailer, at least plot-wise.
Yeah, and everything that we're watching, a lot of the hijinks is genuine just confusion, and you're kind of watching a plot that is not really deep enough to keep you excited about the story. You're just waiting for these moments of hijinks to come through, and I don't think any of the characters are really strong enough to support that sort of thing. Like this is essentially The Hangover. If instead of losing a groom, you lost a thing that a bunch of people who are willing to kill other people for the thing want, right?
Right.
And I don't think that this film kind of has enough going on to propel me for it. I was actually super into it at the beginning, like just Austin Butler and his relationship and kind of what he's doing, and I was totally fine with that. But as you said, once it starts bringing in this like backstory to him and explanation of why he loves the Giants and all that kind of stuff, like none of that amounted to anything for me.
Yeah, who cares?
There's like one visual callback to it that is kind of like, oh, I just don't. Why? Like that doesn't mean anything to me. And I think for me, overall, this film feels like a little bit of a failure from the thing that it's being sold to me in the trailer, like this fun hijinksy kind of movie where somebody gets stuck in a situation and now everybody's teaming up to try to get out of it and not get shot, I guess. But instead, I'm kind of like, and then there's this thing that a lot of things have done recently, like television, a bunch of things where people really care about one person in their life, and when their life gets really, really crazy, they never think, oh shit, I should make sure that person's okay. You know what I mean? And it's like the film wants to hold those cards till later and have it be like a big old shocker surprise to characters as people maybe start to like branch out and find other people in their life that they can potentially mess with. But just for me, it kind of felt like, I've been thinking for the last hour, what about this? And then you're just now realizing that that's a potential danger. So there's just things in this film didn't feel funny enough or smart enough to really bring me along with this kind of hijinksy thing. It just felt like just a film that you'd watch and be like, that was kind of fun. Yeah, I really can't disagree with anything you're saying, except that maybe my bar for this movie was lower than yours was going into it. Like, I don't know. I obviously, I really liked Black Swan. I liked The Wrestler. I've like watched every Aronofsky movie, I think, and had mixed feelings, but over the last few years, retroactively, I've like soured on him more and more. Like, The Whale really hurt me, and Mother, as quote clever as it kind of was, like I don't even know what we gave it when we reviewed it together. It was very much starting to feel like this guy is jumping the shark, and I feel like it has like rippled backward. Where now I think about all of his movies with a little bit of annoyance of like, oh God, what is he gonna do in the future? So I was just pleasantly surprised to be enjoying myself at all. I think this movie fits in a lineage of movies that are like the hijinks of a clueless character that winds up in like a situation they have no idea what they're doing. The Big Lebowski is actually like very relevant to this movie. Like, a stoner lead, mistaken identity, starts this like spiral of a crime ring that he knows nothing about, and there's goofy nihilists and like I don't know, but there's a bunch of things like this. Like, After Hours is the New York version, and it's just this idea of like Inherent Vice is a kind of similar one too, of just, we have this twisty story, and none of the pieces of the story actually matter, and the character is like such a fuck up, they can't even catch up or stay on top of what the story is, and you're just kind of along for this boozy, confused ride while hyperbolic violence happens to people. Like, I don't know, I was just down for that. The fact that, as you alluded to, Hank should know that people in his life are in danger, but for some reason he doesn't. And then the horrifying things may or may not happen. Like, that kind of stuff fits in this saga where you are just like rolling down this windy river of fucked up crime story that I got thrown into, and I am way ill-equipped to handle it. So I was totally fine with just the plot of this movie washing over me and not having to really mean anything to anyone. I just, like, to me, Aronofsky is mostly a visual stylist. Like, that is certainly Requiem for a Dream. That's what everyone remembers about the movie, is how it looked and felt. Like, I don't think they really remember character names or what they learned or shit like that. You know, they remember like how grand and grimy and operatic and stuff it is. And it just, I had fun seeing him use those tools here to like stage fight scenes or sex scenes, or to like have a car chase through a popular part of New York. Like, it was just fun to see him like use that bag of tricks to be a different director for once. There's an argument you could make that this is like him thinking about what other paths could he have taken in life too. Whatever, you can always read that like directors are talking about themselves in this, especially when it's like it's set in like the late 90s, so when he was getting his start too. But I don't know, that's probably giving this movie more credit than it deserves. Gotcha. But it was fun to see him cosplay as Guy Ritchie, even though I also wish Guy Ritchie made this movie, but I wish Guy Ritchie still made good movies. So I don't know if he would do a better job or not right now. Maybe Guy Ritchie should go do a Darren Aronofsky film.
But like, to me, if you see the trailer and you like seeing like the Orthodox Jewish gangsters and the Russians, and you like Austin Butler and Matt Smith with a mohawk and Zoë Kravitz like playing a like cool New York paramedic, like, this movie is going to give you what you want. You have to know that what you're watching is like mostly just dumb fun without a deeper meaning to any of it.
Yeah, just a small caveat is if you like all those things, but you're imagining them mashed up together, that's not this film. You're going to get all those separately.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a deconstructed. This is a build your own.
Yeah,
build your own noir story.
yeah. I guess that's sort of that's where he faltered on the do a Guy Ritchie movie. Is Guy Ritchie's movie is all of these characters would cross paths at one point towards the end of the movie. This is like, nah, all their separate storylines sort of resolve. It's all because of the same things. But
I would argue they cross paths. It just isn't by fate. If I can say there's one thing where this movie does disappoint me and maybe retroactively should make me judge it the way you are, it's that unlike those movies where it's just a guy in over his head, this movie has a moment where it wants us to believe, oh shit, the tables are turning. Like now this guy might be aware and in charge and badass. And that means all these things that should be delightful, just random happenstance, start to instead feel like John Wick. And I never for once believed that Austin Butler could be John Wick, like in this movie. So that is kind of stupid. But otherwise, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but pretty much the whole cast of characters collide in some way toward the end in a way that's like a ripple effect. And then there's even a callback everyone saw coming, if they know how movies work, about how his past is going to maybe relate to what happens later in the movie. But gratifying anyway. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to say this movie is great, but I expected to have a pretty bad time with this movie. And instead I left being like, yeah, cool. Okay. Three stars, 3 stars in the heart. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's all it needs to be, then it succeeded at that. Yeah, I did not hate my time with this movie at all. I just felt a little bit of lacking to what it was that I was watching. I was too consciously aware of I don't know, as you said in that other episode, it was like Guy Ritchie at home.
Right, exactly.
but the at-home version of Guy Ritchie happens to be a fantastic filmmaker on his own. So I just didn't know what the hell I was watching.
Yeah. No, it's all fair. I will also say, and this movie doesn't deserve a spoiler section probably, but there is a character that does a kind of heel turn in this movie, like the grand villain reveal. I thought that was handled pretty clunkily because, again, it's one of those things where the audience has probably already caught up with it, but the movie wants you to feel like it's clever that they're telling you. And I don't know how I would do it differently, but I want this movie to be the idiot in over his head. And when it tries to show us, like, look at this cool plot idea we had, I'm like, no, you're not cool. Don't talk that way. Don't pretend you had a good plot. Yeah. Just give me the good stuff. So I do think maybe he doesn't realize, like he being Aronofsky, doesn't realize how dumb this movie is, which is a shame. But if you go in expecting it to be dumb, I think you'll enjoy yourself.
I'm going to bleep this out because it's a spoiler, but just for you, I'm saying this joke, Stephen. See, the cookie represents the character because it's both white and black. It's got the bad and the good.
Exactly, the duality.
Good times.
Yeah, I think one thing, the movie doesn't quite seem to know whether it's a comedy or not. Like, I know it certainly has comic elements to it, but there's a difference between the Guy Ritchie-esque movie where it is funny because the characters are over the top and the violence is over the top. There's another type of comedy where you make the tone of the movie be wacky and silly in places. Like, an example is there is a moment when Hank, Austin Butler, is being interrogated by a police officer, and multiple times, like, the music changes to underline, like, her suddenly being threatening or something, and then it pulls the rug out from under you and goes, ha, gotcha, in this way that's very much, like, comedic. You know, we're building up and then releasing, we're building up and then releasing. For reasons we don't have to go into, that, like, works for the plot just fine, but it is played and directed as if it were, like, Anchorman, like a goofy send-up or satire of these kinds of movies. And I feel like that tone doesn't totally gel with the rest of the movie that is playing it straight, even if the people are funny. Yeah. I don't know. It's a minor quibble, but there are a few moments like that where I just feel like it doesn't quite know how much of a comedy to be versus being a zany hijinks, but takes itself seriously enough to let you have a good time and root for the character. So there's a bit of a clash occasionally.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, should we get to verdicts, Stephen?
Sure.
All right. If you were going to give us a must-see, recommend with the caveat, wait for untold, pass the caveat, or must avoid, what would you give it?
I am giving this I'm giving it a smiling wait for rental that could even be persuaded to be a recommend with a caveat if someone told me they were really into the trailer. I think this is a fun movie. I don't think it's a good movie. It's certainly not good by the standards of Aronofsky if you like expect this to be a extremely all-encompassing, incredible work of whatever. Like, this is not incredible in any direction. It isn't even trying. It isn't even aiming for that. But it is, I don't know, it's fun. And again, on Letterboxd, I would give it a 3 big Liberty spikes into a mohawk up. I don't know. It's fun. It's fine. And you're going to forget it immediately.
Yeah. For me, it is also a wait for rental, but maybe with a little bit of a frowny face. You know, I enjoyed it enough, but it didn't quite reach the levels of full entertainment. It was more kind of like, I kind of like what you're doing there.
Yeah.
But, you know, to each their own. If you really like the trailer, as Steven said, maybe you will really enjoy this film. But yeah, that's going to do it for this review of Caught Stealing. Steven Miller, people want to find you throughout the week. Where can they do that?
People can find me at Blue Sky at sdavidmiller or sdavidmiller.com.
People can find me at ChristopherInRealLife.com or Christopher IRL on a number of social platforms. You can find the podcast over at thespoilerwarning.com where you can get a bunch of the back episodes of the show. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so on Overcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are found. If you want to know when the episodes go live, you can follow us at twitter.com/spoilerwarning, facebook.com/thespoilerwarning, and instagram.com/thespoilerwarning. If you want to get a hold of us directly, you can send an email to fans@thespoilerwarning.com, or you can use the contact form on our site. Music for this episode will come from a track selected from artlist.io, so hopefully you're enjoying that. Yeah, as we said, that's this review. We have another review of Lurker coming up, so stay tuned for that in the feeds, and we will see you all in a bit. Bye.
Bye.